Imagine you're a predator in the Cretaceous. You've got bone-crushing jaws. You're at the top of the food chain. Nothing should scare you. Until you meet this. A dinosaur so heavily armored, it was basically a tank on legs, and it carried a tail weapon strong enough to shatter bones in a single blow. This wasn't just armor. This was nature turning defense into a weapon. And here's the real mystery. Creatures like this almost never show up in nature. Evolution doesn't usually waste resources like this. So why did Ankylosaurus go all in on armor? And what hidden trade-offs might have doomed it, long before the asteroid struck? 66 million years ago, Western North America was a land of giants. Lush forests, winding rivers, and open floodplains stretched across the landscape. Triceratops roamed in herds. Tyrannosaurus rex prowled as the apex predator. Raptors darted in packs. And then there was Ankylosaurus. 8 meters long, 8 tons of muscle and bone, covered head to tail in armor plating. It wasn't sleek like a raptor. It wasn't fast like a hadrosaur. It was built like a walking fortress. And in a world that rewarded speed, claws, and teeth, Ankylosaurus chose a different strategy. Let's break it down. Ankylosaurus's body was covered in osteoderms, bony plates fused into its skin. Some were flat shields, others sharp spikes. Over this, it grew a layer of keratin, making the plates even tougher. Its skull was low and wide, also armored, like a living battering ram. Its eyelids? Armored. Its back? A mosaic of bone tiles. Even its nostrils were tucked safely into the fortress. But here's the problem. Armor comes at a cost. Bone is heavy. Growth requires resources. For a grazer that needed to eat constantly just to fuel its bulk, this level of armor should have been an evolutionary dead end. Yet Ankylosaurus not only survived, it thrived. Which means something about this strategy worked spectacularly well. And the real showpiece of that strategy was the tail club. At the end of Ankylosaurus's tail sat a mass of fused bone the size of a bowling ball. Behind it, massive tendons and muscles turned the tail into a swinging mace. Biomechanical studies suggest it could deliver blows strong enough to break the legs of a predator. Now, some paleontologists argue Ankylosaurus may not have swung its club in every encounter. The weapon might have been as much about deterrence as combat, like a rattlesnake's rattle, a warning, don't even try it. But here's where it gets fascinating. No other herbivore in its ecosystem evolved anything like this. Triceratops had horns, sure, but that's offense and defense. Ankylosaurus? It took armor, the ultimate defense, and made it deadly. So, what happened when predator met fortress? Picture it. A Tyrannosaurus rex, 12 meters long, jaws designed to crush bone. It approaches. It circles, testing for weakness. Ankylosaurus hunkers low, wide body flat against the ground. The predator lunges. The tail swings. Crack. One wrong move, and the king of predators limps away with a shattered leg. This wasn't just survival. It was deterrence. An evolutionary standoff. Attack me, and you might win. But you might not walk away. But remember the mystery. Evolution doesn't usually allow this kind of over-armoring. Armor made Ankylosaurus slow. A hadrosaur could flee. A ceratopsid could fight in groups. Ankylosaurus? It had no escape plan. It bet everything on defense. And that comes with trade-offs. It needed vast amounts of food to fuel its heavy frame. Its low-slung body may have limited what it could reach to eat. Its armor slowed growth, meaning young ankylosaurs may have been especially vulnerable before their defenses hardened. In other words, it was a specialist. A fortress that worked perfectly, until the environment shifted. And then came the asteroid. Skies darkened, plants died, ecosystems collapsed. For a creature that relied on constant feeding, Ankylosaurus's armor was useless against starvation. Its trade-off, perfect defense at the cost of adaptability, was exposed. But here's the eerie part. Even without the asteroid, some scientists think Ankylosaurus was already walking a fine line. Too slow to adapt, too dependent on its niche, too armored to change. Its armor, the greatest strength evolution ever gave it, may also have been its doom. Today, Ankylosaurus is remembered as the ultimate tank. Movies, games, and toys paint it as the dinosaur you couldn't touch. But it's more than pop culture's armored giant. It's a reminder that survival isn't about perfection, it's about flexibility. Because in nature, the creatures that bet everything on one strategy, no matter how brilliant, are the ones that fall the hardest when the world changes. So here's the truth about Ankylosaurus. When defense became the deadliest attack, predators learned fear. But evolution doesn't play favorites. And in the end, the tank of the dinosaur age couldn't defend itself against change. If you want more stories of creatures that pushed evolution to its limits, hit subscribe, because there are many more experiments in survival waiting to be explained.